right now. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello.
We're back here on the Dynamite channel. Today is January 8th, and today we have a very exciting release. It's Green Hornet, Miss Fury, and with me today is the writer Alex Segura. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks, Amy. I'm happy to be here.
Again, like we were saying before we went live, I really appreciate it because we like getting the words of especially the newest series out there. So thanks for your help, and thanks for again, just thanks for doing all the interviews.
Yeah, no, happy to do it. Happy to spread the word. We're really excited about this project. We're thankful for Dynamite giving us the opportunity, and I think people will be really surprised once they pick up that first issue.
Especially for this first one specifically, you had a co-writer,
mm-hmm.
Henry Barajas. Can you tell me what it was like co-writing something?
Yeah, no, it was fun. When Dynamite reached out, I mentioned I wanted to bring Henry aboard. Henry is someone I've known a long time. He's had some great success with his own work, like Levels de Mayo and Helm Greycastle. And I've known him a long time. And I thought, we talked about we had a shared passion for Green Hornet. And so it felt like a really cool opportunity to collaborate with him. And he brings a lot of different perspectives. And we're also, it's helpful to be collaborating with a friend, like someone you're comfortable with. And we have a good back and forth. And his ideas are great sparks, and we play off each other well. There's no real ego there. Then he's a huge Green Hornet fan, and we both, I think, became bigger Miss Fury fans just working on this project. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your history with Green Hornet?
Yeah, my earliest memory of Green Hornet was as a kid. I watched obviously the Batman 66 show in reruns, and then that led me into the Green Hornet show, and then that really opened the door to really digging into the older stuff, like the radio shows, a lot of the comic books. And I think recently has been kind of a new golden age for the character, with so many great creators working on his stories, from like Kevin Smith to Mark Waid, Aaron Campbell, Matt Wagner. It's really big shoes to step into and kind of add to the mythos. And so I think for Henry and I, the big thing was, how can we make this team up with Miss Fury feel more important than just two heroes battling and then deciding to come together against a greater evil. So for us, it was about making them have this shared history that nobody really knew about, and creating this new character that connects them both, that doesn't negate anything that's come before, but is additive and feels important.
You say you didn't know much about Miss Fury. Was there anything that surprised you about the character doing the research?
I knew the basics. I love pulp heroes, and I love that she was the first pulp hero written by a woman, and it felt like there was so many great stories told with her, that I felt it was a great responsibility to spotlight her in this unique way. So it was really, I think the big thing that Henry and I wanted to explore is, like, how are these heroes different? Like, how does Green Hornet approach a crime in a way that Miss Fury doesn't? And you see that early on in the first issue, when you see their secret identities play off each other in one scene, and you get the sense that Green Hornet is going to fight crime wherever he sees it. He doesn't think about it in so much as, like, if someone's doing something wrong, he will get in the way of them doing something wrong. Whereas Miss Fury takes a little bit more of a strategic and targeted approach. Like, her goal is, let me take out the big bosses, and that will cause everything else to topple. And she's less willing to humor the system. Green Hornet has relationships with the police and with the DA, and he's very entrenched in the city as the defender of this place, whereas Miss Fury is more willing to go rogue and do the things she needs to do and make tough decisions. And she's really been a fascinating character to write. I really like her. And I love how they play off each other, and how it's not your typical team up. And I think maybe people come into the book expecting a romance or some kind of moonlighting type scenario, and it's really two heroes that approach things differently, that don't immediately get along. And that's interesting to me, how characters like brush up against each other and maybe don't connect right away.
You think that's the key to a good team up? Like, you have those obvious differences, but then we work out the ways that they could connect.
Yeah, and I think it's about showing the arc of the characters. Like, how do they come to respect each other, and how does someone like Miss Fury, who maybe thinks Green Hornet is a glorified cop, or how does Green Hornet, who thinks Miss Fury is going rogue and not really being helpful, like how do they come to a point where they have this mutual admiration and respect, and then team up and do something once the bigger threat is revealed? And so there's a big twist later on in the series where you find out just who's behind everything and who's doing these crimes that we tee up in the first issue. But it's too early to tease that too much.
Mhm. I gotcha. You said
Yeah.
you wanted to work with Henry. Did you have any influence on who you wanted to do the art? Federico Saressa's doing the art for
Yeah,
this series.
Federico, I feel so blessed that we got him on this book, because I think he's just going to be a superstar in no time, and uh, probably won't be returning my emails at a certain point. He's just so talented. He's got this great like Brian Bolland, Greg Smallwood style. And I think when we were looking for an artist, I saw his stuff on Instagram, and I remember talking to Henry and Joe Corallo, and we were just like, he's it, he's the guy, he's the one that we want to work with. And it's been amazing to watch him grow, like from one issue to the next, like
Mhm.
just get better, take our notes and take our suggestions. But also, when collaborating with an artist, I try to let them play to their strengths. So we asked them, what do you want to draw? Like, what are the things that get you excited, beyond really drawing Green Hornet and Miss Fury, which is pretty cool, but like, what are the things that you are jazzed about drawing? And he's got a great eye for camera angles and the character stuff, but he does the big action really well. So it feels like he's getting better with every issue. So we kind of have to match his energy. But we really lucked out getting him.
Cool. Like you said earlier, there's so many people have done Green Hornet.
Hmm.
How do you make yours stand out amongst the others?
Yeah, I think there's been so many definitive takes on the character that Henry and I tried not to be weighed down too much by continuity. I think sometimes
Mhm.
when you're writing a character that's been around a long time, like for me with Dick Tracy, or writing in the Spider-Verse or things like that, you might feel almost weighed down by what's come before. So the challenge is, how do you get to the core of what the character is to you? And so that for us, it was, we wanted to show a Green Hornet that was still pretty early in his career. Like, obviously the big tent poles have been established, the car, Kato, the fighting style, but we wanted to show him at a still kind of uncertain point in his career, and like what happens
Mhm.
when the things you feel like are definite are being questioned, and what do you do, like how do you overcome them to become the hero that you're meant to be? And that was really a fascinating journey. So it's less Green Hornet year one and less of like the ultra established Green Hornet who's been at it for a long time, but it's still a Green Hornet at a pretty uncertain moment in his career. Whereas Miss Fury, I feel like, has been working in the background in the city for a while, and she's a great counterbalance to him while also being super interesting and compelling on her own. So I think the challenge was, how do we see these characters, and how can we lean into that so it doesn't just feel like any other Green Hornet story? There's been so many, and so many great ones, and so many great Miss Fury stories. So we want this to feel like from page one, like it's important, it's essential, but it's also different. And that's as a writer, writers, you have to bring your voice into it. Like, what can we bring into this story that maybe other writers haven't, because they're different people.
It's a good answer.
Thanks.
Do do you see Green Hornet or Miss Fury teaming up with anybody else in the future after this pairing? Do you think they could team up with anybody else?
Oh yeah, I'd
Or
love that. I think there's a lot of potential there, and we definitely tried to play it as like Green Hornet and Miss Fury are part of a bigger universe of heroes and characters. And
Mhm.
um, I think the way Henry and I have it planned out is that by the end of the series, there's definitely potential for more. So we'd love to be back.
When you've written so many books, you can't even
Yeah,
count them all. I mean, just glancing at it I
yeah.
mean, through DC and Marvel, but you've touched on, Riverdale and
Hmm.
Archie. Do you like? Do you, like? Are these the types of projects that you actively search for? Because how old is Archie? And I'm
Almost 80 years. Yeah,
yeah, and with Miss Fury and Green Hornet, they're from the
yeah.
40s. So do you like? Are you attracted to like these golden age comics
I
to
am. I love the Paul Pieros. I love
compared to
like Dick
now?
Tracy, Green Hornet, the Archie characters, but I also love like the iconic Marvel and DC heroes. I think for me, it's like having the honor to. I mean, I've been bugging Nick about Green Hornet for a long time, so it's great that he it finally came together. But I think the honor and the privilege is in adding a little bit to this big orchestra, like this big opera that's being played out with these characters over decades and decades. You get to add your little note to it, and hopefully that becomes resonant for readers as time goes by. But um, it's like being called up to the majors to get this chance to write these characters that so many people recognize. I mentioned Green Hornets people, and they're like, "Oh wow, that's so cool that you get to write this character," or like The Question, or Spider Society, things like that, or even Star Wars. Like, it's really fun to play with the toys, but not just like to vamp and do something that's predictable, but really add something to what's come before.
Have a lot of Green Hornet and Miss Fury fans been messaging you like, okay, like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Like,
Yeah, the fan response has been good. I think I'm really curious to see how people respond to the first issue, because I think that was a fun one to put together and it'll surprise folks. But I think with any property, like you were saying, that's been around a long time, the first reaction is like, oh my God, are they going to respect the lore and respect the mythos? And thankfully, Henry and I are both big fans of both properties. So we've definitely taken deep dives into the history and the rogues galleries of these characters. So it feels not just like we're using these characters as puppets to tell a story, but as readers and fans of these characters who want to really play with the characters and their world, like really lean into what has happened with these characters, who their enemies are, who their friends are, who the supporting cast is. And that's been it's always fun. I hate to even call it research, it's just fun.
The one other Dynamite series, or one of the other Dynamite series you did for us, was Scarlet Sisters, right?
Yeah.
Like, any similarities right in this kind of series or that kind of series, or what do you think of our Dynamite characters?
I mean, I love the superheroes. I love the heroes and the pulp heroes that are part of Dynamite. I think there's a lot of great history there. It's this really intricate universe that exists that I think is so identifiable. Like characters like Black Terror, just are so visually stunning. I think it's fun. It's a fun playground. I'd love to write any of them. I think it's a nice kind of there's so many iconic characters that you just look at and you understand who they are. Scarlet Sisters was really fun. That one shot I did was really kind of like a soft pilot. Like, and if people responded, we could have done more. And I've thought of maybe down the road weaving them together, but I like writing strong, complicated characters that have flaws, that are trying to overcome those flaws to become the heroes that they were meant to be. And I think that's really essential to what the Scarlet Sisters were. And you can see it a lot with Miss Fury and Green Hornet, but in different ways. Like Green Hornet is he's trying to be this great thing, but he's not sure he can do it. Whereas Miss Fury is very confident, but she's also a loner. And the problems that come with being a loner is that you don't have a support system when you need help. And so that's kind of how they play off each other.
Any characters that you haven't written for yet that you would love to take a stab at, whether Dynamite or otherwise?
Oh yeah, I mean, in the Dynamite stable, I love the Project Superpowers characters. I think there's a lot of fun there, particularly Black Terror. I think you can really play with a lot of the Batman tropes in that and flip the script a little bit in a fun way. I love Batman. I got to write him a little bit in the first issue of The Question, and that was a thrill. I think I have a really good Batman story in me. I'm an X-Men obsessive. I love the X-Men. But yeah, and those are the big ones that come off the top of my head.
Is there anything you and Henry would want to do again in the future? Like, is there another, like, are you talking more about another project to collaborate on?
Yeah, we're always talking. We're old friends. We'd love to do more Green Hornet. I think there's the I don't want to spoil too much, but by the end of this arc, it definitely tees things up to keep seeing these characters involved in another story that continues what we've done. So that would be fun. But yeah, we'll collaborate again. I'm sure of it.
And maybe Federico can get in on that too, right?
Yeah, for sure. We'd love to have him as long as he's, returning our emails, because he's busy.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
I think that was all I had
for
this series. I don't know if anyone who's watching wants to drop a quick question in the next 30 seconds, but
pick up the issue. We hope you dig it. It's
Yes.
definitely a love letter to both of these characters and to kind of the Dynamite greater Pulperial universe. So we think it's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful book. Federico really poured his heart out. The colorist and Taylor Esposito, the letterer, did a great job. Huge thanks to Joe Rybent and Nick Barucci for having us, and also to Joe Corallo, our editor, for keeping us in line and tolerating us.
1,000%. Yes. Thanks to the entire creative team. And
Yeah.
yes, the book is in stores today. So if you're watching, go out and go check it out. And I guess let us know what you think of it. We love hearing the feedback for any series that we put out there, because we want to make good stuff. We want, no matter what the title is, we want to make good stuff for readers out there. So yeah, thank you again, Alex, for chatting with me today. Thanks for being a part of a great creative team and for all the interviews. So
anytime. Thanks again, Amy.
All right. Hope you have a great day. Hope everyone has a great day. And hopefully we can chat again soon.
Yeah, for sure. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.